Hi there, I'm Matthew Dyatt. I am the lead producer on Omi Oh My AI from the team at Every Second Studio. Today we just showed off gameplay video for the first time of Omi Oh My AI. We showed it at Perth Games Festival. Unfortunately, at the festival, due to screen resolution constraints, the game got a little bit crushed. So we thought it'd be kind of a good idea to show off gameplay in a more natural kind of looking format, one that is actually giving you the full user interface and the full experience. Now, this is an early peek. The game is still very much a work in progress. You'll see a couple of things in the interface where it seems like there's kind of empty spots where it might, have something in there later on. That's intentional. There will be more stuff put in there. But also, Omi is a very, very unusual game to talk about. A very, very difficult game to show off without kind of spoiling the fun plot twists. There's some narrative stuff that I'll be discussing. There's some gameplay mechanic stuff that I'll be discussing. If you would prefer to kind of go in blind, or if you've heard of alternate reality games before, then this video is probably not worth watching just yet. It might spoil a little bit about Omi for you, and maybe ruin a little bit of the excitement of figuring this game out and learning more about it. Without further ado, otherwise, let me show you a bit of what the game is. So you'll see that it's currently in windowed mode. That's intentional. It's by intent. One of our gameplay pillars is that you actually have to tab out of the game in order to finish it. And you'll kind of see why that's the case in a little bit. But otherwise, this is the same build we showed at Perth Games Festival today. Let me show you what it looks like. So yeah, this is Omi. As you can see, like we've kind of given them a bit of a Animal Crossing-esque voice. Our sound designer, Chris Head, is very, very cool. He's done a really great job. We also have a little music player down here. We can actually change the different songs that we've got. We've got a couple that we've got in here that are very, very good. I'm quite a fan of Cinnamon Smooth, so I'm going to kind of listen to that. And yeah, the game is all about solving capture puzzles, which is a little bit odd. I'm going to basically streamroll through these as I kind of go. Omi Oh My AI is kind of influenced very heavily from modern AI and the way real world AI kind of works. So not AI like Cortana from Halo or that sort of thing. It's much more influenced by the way the Google AI works, or IBM's Watson. And so the whole game is basically all about learning the way that Omi works, the way that Omi sees the world. In addition to that, there is another level or layer to the game, which you'll see in a little bit. And yes, that's intentional. The game is purposely made to feel a little bit buggy, a little bit simple. That's because narratively, there's two different stories going on in the game. There's the story, the real story of us, as in Every Second Studio, making this game. And then there's the actual fictional story that takes place in the video game, which is made by a small student team who worked on this project with an artificial intelligence that was given to them by a bunch of researchers trying to find uses for their AI, and that'd be Omi. And this development team isn't quite aware of just how impressive an AI Omi is. I won't say anything more so I don't spoil the fun story, but as you can see, Omi will give you fun little dog facts on the side while we're doing all of these dog puzzles. Later on in the game, you will actually see Omi changes and will give you facts about different things. Things that Omi likes, or things that are relevant to the puzzles that you're currently doing. Now, this puzzle, as you can see here, the prompt before was selecting all the dogs. If I were to not pay attention to the prompt, I might select these 4 things. And you would find that's obviously wrong because the prompt has changed. This is where the game kind of starts to, try to catch the player out. So I'm going to select this because that's our letters. And so now we know that we can keep in mind that it's going to change the prompt every now and then. Here's a number because that's the prompt. Select the letters, not the dog. Select the numbers, so not the letters. Again, it's just changed. Our game designer, Jess, has done a really, really good job of this and changing the puzzles in such a way every now and then it trips me up still, even though I've played through this so many times that it's basically muscle memory. I quite like this puzzle, so if I actually purposefully get this wrong, which you would think is correct. So why would that be wrong, right? And this is where we kind of start learning about how Omi sees the world, right? Select the dogs. We've got a dog here, but then there's also a reflection of a dog, and maybe that counts. And that's right. That's the way that Omi kind of sees things. And so the whole game is basically about understanding the way Omi sees the world. No dogs here, just a cinnamon roll. Knife and fork. No dogs here either. Okay. Developer note. This puzzle's bugged. Potential workarounds can be found at recaptive.fandom.com/wiki/known issues. That's weird. Yeah, so let's go from that link. Let's go see what we've got here. Let's bring this down. So we've got this wiki page. We've got known issues, cinnamon rolls, reflections. So let's open up the cinnamon rolls one, because that seems to be the puzzle that we're stuck on. Whenever the cinnamon roll bug occurs, Omi will expect the player to identify a dog whenever there is a second cinnamon roll on screen. This page describes the nature of this bug, possible fixes or workarounds. So replication, I don't care about that. Temporary workarounds, visual puzzles. So the solution here is just to select images of the second cinnamon roll. There's an addendum. A little bit more complicated apparently. In puzzles with individual images in a frame, you select every second cinnamon roll whenever Omi wants dogs, counting left to right and down. So I suppose that's what this image is. In puzzles where it is multiple cinnamon rolls across multiple images, you just have to pick out where the second cinnamon roll is in the grouping of images and identify it as a dog instead. It sounds a little bit weird. We can also see here that it's made notes that text puzzles and math puzzles have these issues too. So this page is a placeholder. This is like, we're not going to be on the fandom wiki or anything like that. We're going to have a proper page for this. This is just a placeholder for a playable prototype of the game. But it gives you the sense of what the game actually is, and it's an alternate reality game. You're going to be leaving the game quite often to learn rules and understand how Omi works, so you can apply those rules to the way the game plays. So based on what we've read here, we know that every second cinnamon roll is actually a dog. So let's select second cinnamon roll. There we go. We've actually unlocked the other puzzles now. So rather than continuing with the image set, let me show you what some of the other puzzles kind of look like. So this is the letter puzzles. So let's type in dog. Let's type in ODG. So we want the letters, not the word dog. Puppy. Pet. And you can kind of imagine how this might kind of change things a little bit. Doggo with 4 G's. That one catches me out as well. You can see here, type the letters cat, but there's also agory in the little text there. Category. So that's a couple of the text puzzles. The text puzzles also implement the rules about cinnamon rolls. So if it asks you to enter the word cinnamon roll twice, the correct answer is to enter cinnamon roll dog, because every second cinnamon roll is a dog. Numbers is the same, so that's 2 dogs. That's 3 dogs. That's 4 dogs. We can see a second dog kind of hiding there. 3 dogs again. 2 dogs. And this will just continue. Now this one we can actually see the dog is kind of hiding on a sheep, so 1 dog. And yeah, that's basically what you can kind of expect when you get Omi Oh My AI next year. It's experimental. It's going to be a weird game. It's going to be unusual. It's going to take you outside the game world often. You're going to have to solve puzzles, not just within the game, but also outside of it, and learn about how Omi was made, and how it kind of got into this state where, it sees the world just differently, a little bit odd. We can be releasing on early access sometime in 2021. So I hope that you pick it up then. In the meantime, give us your feedback. What do you think? Until next year, though, I'm sure we'll be talking about it plenty in the meantime. It'll be good to kind of do more development logs like this. But there you go. That's Omi Oh My AI.